Hey everybody, so today's video is about the measuring stick. I'm in the car. Just get right into it. I was just at the title company picking up an option fee check for my seller that I have an executed contract on, which is really good. It's all cash, by the way. I really looked at this because I was just telling a story over at the title company about my first deal in real estate and how funny it was and how crazy it was, and that I still feel like sometimes, not all the time, but I still sometimes feel like I'm bumping around in the dark of real estate and don't know where I'm going and just kind of feeling my way through in several different areas. But that's not what the video is about today. And it jogged my memory on how much I've grown in the last 4 years of really doing residential real estate. And the revelation that I had was, it's interesting. So many people say, oh, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Well, that's actually not true. Comparing yourself to other people shows progress. Comparing yourself to anything is progress. You want to see progress in your life, do you not? You want to see growth. Back when I was a kid, we moved around a lot, so we didn't really get to do this, but I had one of my friends whose house I'd go to when we were about 12 years old is when everyone starts, shooting up. They hit puberty and hit a growth spurt, and next thing you know, they're 6 or 12 inches taller than what they were 6 to 12 months ago. And one of my friends did exactly that. He shot right up like a bean sprout over the summer, and he showed me his chart on the wall where he would take his measurements, or maybe his mother would, as to how tall he was at what age in his life. And I think here's the nugget that I came away with just now was, people say, oh, it's not right to compare. You don't want to compare yourself to other people or other things. The truth of the matter is, it's not about comparing. It's what's behind the reason for comparing yourself. Because if you're comparing yourself in order to measure up to somebody, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're comparing yourself to measure where you've come from and where you've been to where you are now, then I believe you're doing it for the right reason. In school, my daughter is going into kindergarten, and so we've gone to a couple school meetings just to see what all next year she needs to be faced with, and whether she's ready to go into kindergarten, because she's 4 years old and she'll turn 5 over the summer, so she'll be in the younger age group of the kids in her class. And so what they do is they test the kids going into the program as to what their aptitude level is, how much can they get along, their social skills, that kind of thing. And one of the things that I've learned with Riley is, and through this process, is that they're not giving her an assessment as to compare herself to other kids with malicious intent to go, look how good my kid is and look how smart she is. They're doing it to see if she can actually measure up to the class and do what the requirements are as a kindergartner. And if she can't do it, then they said that, it might be best to leave her behind and another year and have her develop until she's ready. Now, obviously, all kids are at different levels, and it's not to discuss that. It's an example for the reasoning behind it, to which we measure ourselves in life. And we're only simply measuring her ability so we can find out if she can achieve success in kindergarten. That is it. We're not saying, hey, look, Riley's scored this or that and the other on her assessment tests to get into kindergarten, and yours did what? No, it's not about that. But when it becomes about that, it also becomes about selfishness, competition, and that is unhealthy. So all I'm saying is, in life, I think, very many times people become judgmental Sometimes even people closest to us are most judgmental of us, and it's unwarranted, it's undeserving sometimes, but people are. And when they measure for the wrong reason, that's what I'm talking about. They're measuring out of envy, jealousy, judgment, condemnation, when really what they need to do is measure themselves as to say, you know what, is there something I can gain? Is there something I can learn from this person who I'm measuring myself against or up with? Instead of tearing down, it becomes all about encouragement and building up and ambition and feeding the right feelings and thoughts into good intentions as to your growth. And so that's what I came away with today. The time that I began real estate, I had no idea, no real estate experience. I did a cash deal, my first deal, and it could have gone so far south you wouldn't even want to know where it would went. Up until now, 4 years later, doing 33 transactions, over $8.2 million in homes sold last year.